Guys, Bushcraft Family with another video, and this is a gardening video. Yes, as you can see, I've got my trays ready to go, and they're ready to be transplanted. As you can see, these are just a couple days older than a week. I think this is like 9 or 10, day 9, 10. But this first row is Roma tomatoes, and we got our bell and echinacea, which didn't come up as well as I planned. Next one is oregano, eggplant, and then we have poblano peppers down at the end. You can see we have multiple sprouts coming out of this, so we can actually separate those into different pots. But I am going to go ahead and show you how we do this. Look at the roots coming through that already. I'm just going to start on the single one right here. And as you can see, you can just pop that up. Take that out. Is it a little bit too wet for my liking? I like these to dry out a little bit, but this is the time I have to do it. So this is when I'm doing it. Okay, let me move this. As you can see, I have a little bit of dirt in there. What my plan is to do is try to bury this as much as possible, because all this will turn into root. Let me break this off a little bit. Let me dig that down somewhat. And then we have a good base to get started. Now I'm going to fill this all the way up with soil to here. That will give it a little bit of a head start with the roots and everything. So just hang on. And there you go. Most of the stem is under the soil. That gives all those little hairs that you see on the stem will turn into roots, which will make this very, very strong. And then if I don't get this out and I have to up pot it again, it'll have a better chance. Now, a lot of people like to take these leaves off right here, these two starter leaves right here. I do take those off, but I don't take them off when I'm transplanting, because they're going to be in enough shock as it is by moving it into this other dirt that we don't want to shock them too much. So I'll let this thing take hold and get roots, and then I'll pluck those off. The same thing with flowers. If there was any flowers on here, which these haven't been in the dirt very long to have that, but like I said, it's growing very, very good as it is. So let's all get started and get the rest of these over here all filled up, and I'll be back when we get done with that. Okay guys, we're back. I will show you the tomatoes once I get done with these bad boys right here. These are my regular peppers. These are peppers for the Survival Seed Challenge. As you can see, we do have a couple here. It's a double, so we're going to go ahead and start with the one behind it, which is a single. I always like to do singles first. There we go. And as you can see here, you can see the roots are already forming outside of that. Now, peppers are different than tomatoes. The stem, you can bury a little bit of the stem, but it will not create a root. So you have to be careful not to over bury the root or the stem. We're going to go ahead and stick that in there. I'm going to fill it up with soil. I'll just let you guys run in while I reach over here and get my soil and stick in here. And yes, I'm doing this all getting my hands dirty. Using the hands is the best way to do it. And there you go. Now, as you can see, guys, I don't pat the the soil down around it. I make sure it's firmly in to where it's standing itself up, and I leave it nice and loose soil. That makes the root be able to expand easier. If you pack it down, it's going to have a harder time for those roots to branch out. So I always like to leave it a little bit loose. It's okay if a week or two down the road this soil starts to fall and pack down a little bit. That's fine. But you want it loose like that so your plant has some loose soil to get into. Go ahead and put a little bit more soil on the bottom of that. Get ready. I always make sure to check and see if there's any clogs in here. Because again, that is something that would be hard for the roots to get through. Let me go ahead and get another single out of here. Plop that in there just like that, and we're ready to fill it up. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I'm a little behind where I usually am about right now, but I think it's going to be an extra cold spring, so I'm probably going to say well into May before I even get anything out. So these guys ought to be about ready by then. Forgot I didn't show you guys. There's the second one right there. Plop that down in there. Get ready for the next one. A little soil down there. And we've got another single here. Plop it down in there. Rinse and repeat. And right now, there's a lot of people say, well, I'll go to the nursery and get my plants. So much easier. I don't have to sit there and keep watering them and put fertilizer in there and everything. You know, most nurseries buy their plants from a big box nursery. And yes, I said a big box nursery. Go, there's the next one. And to me, I would rather have something that I know what it is. I know where the seed came from. I know the soil, the additives and everything I put in it. I know all that stuff. And I'm not dissing anybody that does that. But try it one year. Try growing your own from seed in the house. And tell me if you enjoy watching something grow from the seed. There we go. There's our last single. Now we have our double. I'll go ahead and show you guys how I separate this next bit and get some soil in these two. There we go. I got a lot of cleaning up to do, but that's normal. Okay, here you can see we're going to get into what I call a double because it has two seeds growing together. Now, one way to do this is just barely remove the soil. Don't squeeze, don't pull. You can bang the roots. And like I said, it's a little bit easier when this is drier. Some people will actually run this underwater, and boom, there you go. You don't want to pull these to where it's pulling the roots and breaking them. You want to pull them very gently and just let the soil fall from each other. And then we plant these two, and we'll have 2 plants instead of 1. Let me go ahead and get this one. And again, watch that you don't bury too much of the stem. I wish I had more area, more of a work spot to where I could show you guys me filling this with dirt. But you just have to listen to me jabber jabber. There we go. There's that one. Do the same to this one. And again, just try it. If you're one of those that goes and buys your plants from the store when it's about that time to plant, which again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, because you are still growing your own food. But like I said, when you do it from seed, you know what's in that. You know what's in that soil. You know what's in the additives and stuff. Like I put bone meal to start with. I put blood meal. I put all kinds of goodies. Worm castings, you name it. Anything that I can think of that gives these plants a jump start. You can see here, look at these plants that I've grown in here. Some of them, you know, aren't doing so well. They're not very big or anything like that. But these things here, 9-10 days old. 9-10 days. That's it. I watered twice, maybe 3 times at the most. All you do is fill the tray up under here about halfway, and then put it heat pad underneath. Turn the lights on in the day. Turn the lights off at night. Once they come up. And that's it. Just let them be. Now, this next step with these plants here, I will give them some fertilizer, which I'll show you what I use here. I went ahead and got me a brand new bottle of this stuff. It's Grow Big, just like Grow Big TV. It's from Fox Farms. Some pretty good stuff. As you can see, it's 644. It's not too strong. It's not too strong to start off with for inside the house. I just mix it with a gallon of water and just water my plants. I'll put water in the bottom over it. I'll put water at the bottom of this, and they'll feed from that. I'll do it maybe once or twice a month, if I have them in here that long. Now let me go ahead and show you my tomatoes over here. Here is the tomatoes. Again, these tomatoes are less than 10 days old. 10 days. Same with these over here. These are more like a week. That's because I did these 2 days afterwards. So look at it. Look at them peppers. Now, would you rather buy a pack of seeds for $4 or $5 and be able to do this 30 times, 40 times, or spend $5 for one pot? Speaks for itself. With that being said, I'm going to call this the end of the video. And like always, God bless.